What if the biggest reason you feel so stuck is that you're just waiting to feel like doing the work? Well, today we're going to dive into a pretty powerful idea, how to stop chasing those fleeting feelings and actually build a system that guarantees you'll take action no matter what.
I mean, does this sound familiar to you? You're waiting for that spark, right? For the energy to just kick in, for that perfect moment to finally arrive. It's almost like you're waiting for permission from your own mood to get started. But let me ask you, what happens when that feeling just doesn't show up? Or worse, it disappears right when you need it the most.
And that right there is the core truth we're exploring today. This one idea could totally change how you look at your goals. See, motivation, it's just an emotion. It's unreliable. But discipline? Discipline is an engine. It's a system, and that is the huge difference between just starting something and actually finishing it.
So stick with me, because today you're going to learn exactly how to build a discipline system that guarantees you can take action consistently. A system that works even when you're having a bad day. In fact, especially when you're having a bad day. All right, so first things first. We have to tear down this really popular idea that's holding so many of us back. I call it the motivation lie. You know, we all have this idea that success is a straight line, right? A steady climb. But the reality, when we're just riding the waves of motivation, is that it's a total roller coaster. It's full of these massive peaks and crushing valleys. And that's because motivation just isn't consistent. It's the reason you can feel totally on fire on a Monday, and then by Thursday, you've got absolutely nothing left in the tank. I mean, think about it. What is motivation? It's really just an emotional high. It's a great wave to ride, for sure, but waves always crash. And it depends on so many things you can't even control, like how you slept, what your mood is, or if you had a rough day at work. The second life throws a wrench in your plans, guess what's the first thing to disappear? Yep, motivation. And this is where that classic frustrating cycle of burnout comes from. You get this burst of energy, you work like crazy for a few days, and then you crash. You just can't sustain it. Then comes the guilt, right? You feel bad for stopping, so you just wait around for the next wave of motivation to hit so you can start the whole crazy cycle all over again. And the result? You stay stuck, never really finishing what you start. So let's really put these two side by side. Motivation, that's a feeling. Discipline, that's a system. Motivation is all emotional and, inconsistent. Discipline is structural and totally consistent. Motivation fades over time, but discipline compounds. It builds on itself. Think of it like this. Motivation might give you a push to start, but it's discipline that actually pulls you, day after day, toward the person you want to become.
So what are we really talking about when we say discipline? It's simple, really. It's taking consistent action that's aligned with your biggest long-term goals. And here's the absolute key part, the part that changes everything. You do it regardless of how you feel in the moment. It's all about separating your actions from your ever-changing emotions.
Okay, so we get the problem, right? Motivation is a trap. The real question is, how do we build the solution? How do we build that discipline engine? Well, it actually comes down to a pretty straightforward four-part system for making action almost automatic. And here it is. We're going to call it the discipline loop. Let's walk through each of these 4 steps, one by one. The whole point here is to remove friction, get rid of that constant decision-making, and basically make doing the right thing the easiest possible option. Okay, step 1. This is going to sound a little weird, maybe even counterintuitive, but it is so powerful. You have to start shamefully small. I mean, so small it feels almost ridiculous. Why? Because an action that tiny has basically zero resistance. Your brain can't come up with an excuse not to do 5 push-ups. It can't argue with reading for just 2 minutes. Remember, the goal right now isn't intensity. It's all about consistency. All right, step 2, reduce your choices. Here's a secret. Your environment is way more powerful than your motivation will ever be. Every little decision you have to make throughout the day drains your willpower. So you have to rig the game. Set yourself up for success. Lay out your gym clothes the night before. Put that book you want to read right on your pillow. You've got to design an environment that basically pushes you toward the right actions. Step 3 is all about integration. This is called habit stacking, and it's a total game changer. All you do is attach a new habit you want to build onto an old one you already do without thinking. So, right after you pour your morning coffee, you journal 1 line. Immediately after you brush your teeth, you meditate for 2 minutes. See? This completely removes the question of when you're going to do it. The new habit just gets pulled along by the old. And finally, step 4, you have to close the loop with a reward. Now, this doesn't have to be anything big. It can be as simple as the satisfaction of ticking a box on your to-do list, or even just taking a second to mentally tell yourself, hey, nice work. That little hit of dopamine signals to your brain that the action was a good thing, and it wires you to want to do it again. Cue, action, reward, repeat. That's how you make discipline feel automatic.
Okay, so now that we have the system, let's talk about the absolute best place to apply it, the first hour of your day. This is the highest leverage point you have. If you can master this first hour, I promise you, it will ripple out and positively affect everything else.
Think about it this way. Every single thing you do in the morning is a vote for the type of person you want to be that day. When you start with an intentional, disciplined action, you're casting a vote for that version of you. But when you start the day by grabbing your phone and just chaotically scrolling and reacting to things, well, you're casting a vote for that person too.
The absolute key here is to get a win on the board immediately. Before you check your phone, before you let the world's agenda rush in, just do one thing that's intentional. One thing that requires a tiny bit of discipline. Maybe it's a 10-minute workout, a cold shower, or even just 5 minutes of reading. Whatever it is, that single win creates momentum that you can literally ride for the rest of the day. Just no phone scrolling first.
Okay, this brings us to the final and honestly the most crucial part of this whole thing, the unstoppable mindset. This is what you need to act when your motivation is at absolute zero, because that's where true, unshakable discipline is really forged.
So, for those moments when you really don't feel like it, here are 3 practical tools you can use. First up, the 5-minute rule. Just commit to doing the thing for 5 minutes. That's it. So often, just starting is the hardest part. Second, embrace what I call minimum viable effort. Can't do your full workout? Fine. Just go for a 10-minute walk. The goal is just not to break the chain. And third, visualize the after feeling. Don't focus on how hard it is to start. Focus on that incredible feeling of pride and accomplishment you'll have when you're done.
This all comes down to one critical mental shift. You have to learn to separate your feelings from your actions. A disciplined mind uses the word and, not so or but. It's not, I'm too tired, so I'll skip the gym. It's, I'm too tired and I'm going to go do the bare minimum. You have to stop waiting for emotional permission to do what you know you need to do.
And ultimately, this is all about identity. You need to stop focusing so much on the outcome, like losing 20 pounds, and start focusing on becoming the type of person who never misses a workout. Don't just say, I want to write a book. Start believing I am a writer who writes every day. Your actions will always follow who you truly believe you are.
So let's bring it all home. Motivation is just a spark. It's exciting, sure, but it's gone in a flash. It's not going to get you very far. Discipline. Discipline is the engine. It's the powerful, reliable system that will actually carry you all the way to your destination, day in and day out. It's time to stop looking for sparks and start building your engine. Look, your life isn't going to change when you finally find motivation. It changes the moment you decide to build a system that keeps you moving forward even when you're tired, even when you're uninspired. Every single action you take today is a vote. So I'll leave you with this question. Who are your actions going to vote for today? The person who waits for a feeling or the person who just does the work? The choice is always yours.